Hey, what's up, Megan Wells? Let's see here. Looks like we got 3 watchers. So this is a little bit of a test of a live stream that I'm hoping to do. I'm hoping to do this almost every Friday and do like a Q&A day and see how that goes for everyone. And that way you guys can ask me questions and I can give you some answers that you guys have been asking in the comment section all week long. On my end, the picture quality looks pretty good. How's it looking out there? Hey there, Mitchell Scripter and Megan Wells. Looks good? Not choppy? Awesome. Awesome. Good reports. Good to see you all out there. Not much, stranger. How about you? Good video and audio. Great. So, yeah, I'm shooting this on my LG V20. Oh. What's up, Corey Morris? No, there won't be any nudes on this one. Oh. Yeah. Good smiling face. Oh. Hey, good to see everybody here. Yeah, this is a great little thing. We've already got 36 people here. That's awesome. I don't know. I just figured this was going to be a little test video. Didn't expect this many people to show up. I thought maybe like 3 people, diehards, would show up. Oh. But thank you, Mark Cano. I greatly appreciate that. Oh. Yeah, I don't know if I'm that popular, dude. Huh. Some notifications coming through here. I'm going to have to figure out a way of doing that. Oh, what was I working on today? Let's see. I just finished up a bundle of 5 roses for a customer, and it was really great there. It took all day though. A lot of work in those things. So, thank you, Jackson Colther. I think that's how you pronounce your name. So, that's what notifications are for. You're exactly right. I'll have to see here. Excuse me. Okay. Yep. Show live chat messages. Good. Oh. Okay. Yeah, it's great to see everybody here. That's awesome. But yeah, so working on quite a few things. I'm getting geared up for Quad State. I have quite a few projects I'm trying to put in the gallery this year, and you know, that's one of the things that I'm personally doing in the next few weeks. I have a couple really big jobs going out, a couple big bowls and things like that. So, Shadowcaster, yes, I believe this is going to be regular. I think like Fridays, I plan on doing live streams for like a Q&A basis. So this way you guys can get direct answers for all your questions. So, what is my go-to piece for live demos? Let's see here. It varies a lot. It depends on the audience and what their attention span is. So live pieces for demonstrations, if I'm doing something like Boy Scouts, they're going to ask 1,000 questions about knives. So I try to avoid those as much as I can. I don't know, maybe forge a spear or something, or a knife-shaped object out of mild steel just to appease the crowd. I've done a couple live demos that way. If it's for other blacksmiths, I try to get creative and focus on techniques more than the actual project. So, good to see you, Hound Dog Hair. So, will do. I'll keep up the great work. Thanks for showing up, man. Oh, what's up, Steve Olin? BTB, good to see you here too. Oh. It's called a letter opener. Yeah, there you go. Letter opener. That way I can save face. You know, I don't have to be the knife maker. I've got a buddy of mine, Corey Morris. I'm always going back and forth with him, trying to convert him to the dark side of ornamental work. So, let's see here. Well, one thing I don't like about this is your guys' messages, they don't just stay up, they fade away. So It's kind of hard to read them, especially when they're a long message. So I'll try to answer this one. Do you recommend doing one large piece during demos people can watch? I don't recommend doing anything that takes longer than about an hour. People get saddle sore in the bleachers or seats at a demonstration. And as you're dealing with general public, if you can't get it done in about 5 minutes in front of them, they're not interested. So, you know, there's going to be those few diehards that sit there with you for about an hour. And, I mean, they'll watch everything you do, but there'll be like 1 or 2 at a show or something like that. Most other people, they just want to watch you sweat and beat on something. And then when you're done beating, they're gone. So we'll see you later, YouTube. So rotate the phone. This way or this way? Which way? It looks pretty good on my end. Unless you're supposed to do live streams with it straight up and down. So 90 degree. Well, we'll give that a go, see what happens. Let's see. How's that look? Oh, yeah, let's see here. Yeah, I can't pull the chat up like that. It just changes my picture angle, but it doesn't do that, so. Your suggestions on a finish on branding iron. Let's see here. Well, I mean, branding irons get hot, so I mean, I would just do a traditional blacksmith finish on that one. Sideways now. Let's see here. Where's that Forge Hood video I requested? Good question. There it is back there, if you guys can see that. I didn't want to do too much moving. I don't know if it'll get real choppy or not, but there's the Forge Hood. I want to take and do a whole video on how they work and build one from scratch. There's a little bit of some dynamics that go with that on makeup air, bringing in enough air and supplying enough exhaust air. So it'll be a little bit for that. I want to make sure I have all my facts correct before I teach y'all anything. It's been years since I've been in HVAC. So here, I'm new. What's traditional? Traditional would be a oil finish that you put on hot. And then that would only apply to probably the handle section, because as soon as you get to the end that's supposed to get hot, it's just going to burn off anyhow. No, I've never done any blackening with beeswax. Well, the beeswax linseed oil with coal dust. I think that's what it was, breeze. But yeah, this ain't pulling up the live chats. I'm surprised. I would have thought the chat would have been up there. It says show live chat, but every time people stop chatting, it goes away. So it's kind of an interesting thing. I'm not doing it on any software other than what comes with the phone through YouTube. So anyways, I hope everybody's really been enjoying the videos that we've been cranking out here lately. Some of them's been just more techniques. Yeah, my wife, she has a laptop. Yeah, she's inside. I just figured I'd see how I could do it here. She's managing 3 kids, putting them to bed, so it's an 18th century mixture. It lasts a lifetime. Well, cool. I might have to give that a shot someday. So, yeah, we've been really cranking out a lot of videos, and you know, some of them have hit pretty good. Some of them not as popular, this and that. So, but you know, we're trying to keep making the videos better and better as we go along, and you know, just see how that goes in the future. Better and better camera equipment, things like that. One thing I'll point out, if any of you are new to the channel that are just catching this live stream here, you know, I am a talker. That's what the Lord blessed me with. I'm a talker. So that's what that's what I do. I love teaching. I love teaching one-on-one if I can. I love teaching in front of a group of people. That's, you know, that's kind of my strong suit. And I like to teach the process, not necessarily the project. So, cool. In Sweden, we love your videos. Thanks, Sevon Arn? Sorry, I'm an American. Bad with the other languages. Let's see here. Wow, we are 10 minutes in. This is awesome. Hello, Aaron Skelton from Connecticut. Hi from New Lebanon, Ohio. So, and BTB, you're very welcome. So, best hammers for beginner with a tight budget. I'm going to go for the go-to Harbor Freight. So that's what I would do. I would do the Harbor Freight any time of the year there. That's what I started with. I started with a 3-pound cross-peen hammer and from Harbor Freight, and that's a little large, but you know, it did the job for a great number of years for me until I was able to forge my own hammers, which I do plan on doing a demonstration on that eventually. So real quick question, if I move around a bunch, is it really choppy? No, there's no music, I'm just swaying to the oldies here. Oh. Nope, not choppy at all. Awesome. So that means I might be able to do some live demonstrations. That would be good. There's been some stuff I've been keeping back because I really want to do live demonstrations on them. Like forge. That's a big one. Oh, did anybody hear the ka-ching? And the message notifications? I guess this is the problem doing on the phone. Yeah. So that neat little ka-ching, whenever I sell something online, like through Etsy, it sends me a notification that I made money. So, you know, that's always a fun thing when you're in a crowd of people or something like that, and you're talking along, and all of a sudden it goes ka-ching, and you're like, and people are like, what was that? You know, you're like, oh, I just made some money, so it's all good. People get, yeah, people get a kick out of that. They're like, what? You just made money, so. Let's see here. Hello, Army Pipe Smoker. God bless you. Hello from New Lebanon, Ohio. That was you. You thought you just bought my burner plans. That's awesome. Thank you. I didn't look at the notification. I just kind of swiped it there. So. Yeah, nice to see you, Clay Sap. Thank you. Jackson Kohler. I'll have to read your message next time somebody comments. It faded again. Okay, do you apply solid wax when your pieces are still hot? It works great. P.S. It's cold. Well, I didn't get to read that. Sorry. Yeah, I don't use a lot of wax finishes, to be honest with you. A lot of my main work doesn't require it unless I do like a fire poker. If I do a fire poker for a customer or something like that, or for a live demonstration, I'll do like a wax finish or oil it. So nice to know you, Bodie. So now I don't have to call you BTB all the time. Oh, that's nice. Nice to know you. Oh. So this is awesome. We have about 45 people now. Watching my big head. It's kind of strange, but, you know, mainly because it's kind of faceless. Whenever I'm standing in front of 45 people, at least I can see who's fell asleep on me. That happens. That has actually happened at Sofa before. Oh. You can't fall asleep just yet, Brian Neely. Gotta stay up. Come on, Steve Olin. It's only what, 8 o'clock now? 8:15? Well, your little notification said 8:14, so that's not too late. I've been up since 5 a.m., so I'm just getting going for the evening, right? So I'm going to do like I'm going to try something different here on the live stream. Maybe this is bad maybe this is bad for par. I'm going to take you on a little walk around the shop and see if you guys, see if it gets real choppy. Now, my hands will be shaking, but let's see if this gets crazy. If it gets too crazy, I'll go ahead and put it back. So, just walk around. Does it get choppy? I hear a yes. Just walking around the shop. Kettler. Okay. Jackson Kettler. Nice to meet you. Not choppy at all. Cool. I do have one where I explain the brass finishing. Actually, let me go over that. That's a good question. Cool. This is over. Let me get this down here. Okay. So check it out. This is my brass brush. I've had a lot of questions on this. Yeah, a little blur now and then. Yeah, I think that's because of the poor lighting. I shut some of the lights off. I'm going to go sit back down so now that I got my brass brush. This is something that I get a lot of questions on, so let me see here if I can set you guys back down. Sorry, new to this whole live stream thing. Let's see here, get you all straightened up. There we go. Now we're back at it. Okay, so this brass brush, I get asked a lot of questions about my brass brush. This is a barbecue brush. That's all it is, guys. It's made by Grill Craft. It was made in China. And the item number is 86143. Yes, I've done a lot of brazing before, both on brass, copper, a lot of different items. I've done brazing in the forge for lock pieces, for different lock work, things like that. It's a fun process. Hopefully I'll do a video on that sometime soon. But yeah, it's just a Grill Craft brush. One thing I want to take and say real quick, if anybody is going to buy a brass brush, be very leery of brass brushes out there. They're not all created the same. A lot of the ones like that you'll buy at like Harbor Freight or things like that, it's actually a steel brush that is coated with brass, and that won't work for brass brushing. So, hi from Bel Air, Ohio. John Lavender. Nice to meet you, John. So this is really cool. I think I like this a lot. It's like I'm getting to talk to a whole bunch of friends out there all the way across the world. So you guys just listen to be honest with you, watching a video and then all the comments, it's been hard to keep up with the comments, so. Hammer on some wood, huh? Oh. Well, thank you, Sarah and Mike. You're awesome, too. I don't know you, but I'm pretty sure you're awesome. You're awesome for leaving that comment, so. I'm glad it made your day, Mark Cano. So. It's here, 5:15 p.m. out here in Southern California. Woo-wee! You still got a long ways to go. Man, people from all over the place. This is amazing. That's awesome. So, Australia, Michigan, Nebraska. Good to see you all. Good to see you all. You know, this is one of the things that I think is amazing about blacksmithing is the great group of people that's on here. I mean, occasionally we get a lot of trolls online. And by the way, I want to take this moment to thank everybody for all your great encouragement the other day. That was awesome. I know I haven't been able to get back with everyone. It's just some of you guys left really heartfelt comments, and we really appreciate that. Me and Jess do. And, you know, and it's just great to see all the blacksmiths online here that you guys have been enjoying our content and stuff. And, you know, and it's amazing to see that you guys are pretty much from all over the United States. Holy cow, that's amazing. And all over the world, that's pretty awesome. So, Canton, Ohio. Okay, you're not too bad. I mean, a ways away from me, Brian Smith, but out there, hopefully we'll see you at Quad State this year. Oh, is it? Yeah. You're right, Dave Dreads. Blacksmiths are generally down-to-earth people. So, one of the things you'll notice, like, and it's kind of funny, online there's a certain amount of anonymity for people. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. But since it's kind of faceless, people tend to loosen up, you know, a little bit with what they're truly thinking. And a lot of times, if you are in the public spotlight, like I've been in quite a many times, like at my blacksmithing clubs and stuff, at SOFA, although there may be somebody who doesn't necessarily agree with me or something like that, they're not going to just kind of bash me and call me everything but a white person. But, you know, the internet being how it is, we definitely get those armchair warriors out there. It's funny, but, you know, hey, you take the good and the bad. But like I said in my appreciation video, we have just an absolute amazing group of all you subscribers out there. You guys are awesome. You really are. You know, reading all your stories and reading everything that people are, you know, going through, and your triumphs and trials and things like that. It just, you know, it lets us know that, you know, we're not in this whole thing alone, and that's pretty awesome. So me and Jess definitely love you all out there. You guys are great. So, all right, we'll see you, Steve Arn. So good night. So Georgia. Awesome. So is there anybody here on the live stream that's going to be going to Quad State this year? Or does anybody know what Quad State is? Because I'm going to definitely be there this year. So. Sarah Mike G, watch your videos every day when I'm bored at work. Well, I'm glad I'm more entertaining than work. So you can watch me sweat, huh? That's good. But yeah, too far for you. Yeah, I get that. That's, you know, it's a great event if you can attend. It is in Troy, Ohio, at the Miami County Fairgrounds. It's the largest blacksmith gathering in North America. It is an amazing event. I've been going to it for a long time now. I believe, don't quote me, but if I'm correct, about 7 years I've been going there. 6 or 7 years. Can't remember, but it's a lot. So it's Quad State is from the 22nd through the 24th. So that's essentially the weekend. It's like a Friday through Sunday type deal. People always show up early there at the fairgrounds. You can go to, and this isn't a sponsored video, but you can go to their websites, sofablacksmiths.org, and you can take and find all the information there too. So I do plan on doing this every Friday night if I can. So I can't put... I cannot put a actual promise on that just yet, as I'm still figuring out the live and the data and all that business. But I hope to be able to do this so I can get caught up on everybody's questions. Yeah, you're right, Shadowcaster. There is a lot more that goes on in the eastern half of the United States than the west. I don't know why that is. You know, you Westerners really need to pick up the A game, I guess, on that. You're in Cincy and you'd like to go. Yep, you definitely should, Blake, for sure. No, my wife doesn't edit the videos anymore. So what Jessica does, she used to edit. I used to have a big DLSR camera, and I would film with the DLSR camera, and then I'd have to take all that film footage, and we would have to go put it through our software on our computer, and the computer's old and slow, and it'd take forever to actually edit the videos. And so, I mean, it just took hours and hours to edit the videos. So I bought this new phone after watching a lot of reviews on it, and it actually, I edit through KindMaster now, and that's right on the phone. So I can really quickly throw stuff together, and that's, you know, that's pretty amazing. That's how I can get the videos coming pretty quick, and I can do them in the styling. Now, the problem with shooting with your phone is you don't have as many options with like you have with the DLSR camera. But it was either this or the lens that we have shoots a really close focal point. Kine, K-I-N-E, master, not kind. Yep, that's how you pronounce it. See here. Yeah, any thoughts on handing your wife a hammer and see what happens? Could be interesting. Actually, Jessica has forged before, believe it or not. She actually has a very lovely set of meat skewers she forged. And then, well, you know, kids grow older, and now they're homeschooled now, and we're schooling them and everything else too, so on top. So she hasn't gotten to be able to get back in the forge, though. But she enjoyed it. She did a really great job. I was impressed, for sure. Maybe we'll do that in a live stream one day, get her going. So, yeah. I've been doing some with my iPhone 6s and iMovie. Yeah. Yeah. I think a phone's a great option. I mean, it's a great option for me because it's small, it's portable. I can place it anywhere in the shop real quick, and I could get the shots I want. And, you know, it was the decision between getting this phone with the editing software on it or buying very expensive editing software, and then also $1,000 lens, which was just ridiculous for Nikon. You got to be off your rocker, I guess. I mean, if I was doing this full time for a living, doing YouTube professionally, I guess I would go for a, you know, $1,000 lens, but that's not really what we're doing this for. So, you know, let's see here. How large a tripod do I use, ClaySap? Let's see here. Let's see here. Well, it looks like we got one troll. You have no rights, you and your white privilege. Well, thank you, troll. So, but anyways, see, like I said, there's an idiot just about everywhere. They usually find a feed somewhere. Oh, okay, LOL, I'm joking. I hope so. I mean, oh, but anyways, let's see here. I don't know, that knocked me off. Trolls get me off my path. If you become a troll, you just incite rage in my mind. I do not use a very big tripod. I use a Manfrotto compact action tripod, and that's pretty handy. That is pretty handy indeed, so. Man, I hear this all the time, that's why. My bad, bro. No. It's no problem, NV. Don't worry about it. I'm very quick to get back, so it comes from the trades. You kind of you learn to just not really. How do you say? I'm trying to say it in a nice Christian, decent way. You learn not to put up with people very quick. If somebody shoves you, you shove them right back, and that just came from my days in the trade, and it's something I still work very hard at. The phone I'm using is an LVG20. LGV20. Sorry about that. Yep, blacksmiths are jacks of all trades. Nick, nice to meet you, Valencia. Oh. Yeah, that's a hard one. Meek, the meek and mild thing. That's something that God, I don't think, inherently blessed me with right out the womb. So. It's a tough one for me. I struggle with it daily, but I'm getting better. I haven't like bashed anybody too bad, I don't think, in the comment sections here recently. So, ever use coal forge with a bellows? I have never gotten the chance to. I would love to. I use a hand crank blower on my coal forge and love it. Man, this is awesome. Oh, nice to meet you too, Nick. Let's see here. Ever forged with corn? Nope, can't say that I've done that. Now, I have been blessed to start my blacksmithing career with a very great coal supply, with Sofa only being 45 minutes away. That is one thing that I've been blessed with. I know a lot of you guys out there have been struggling with that, having to use anthracite and things like that. Which I don't want to start any great debates on that, so. But it burns like charcoal. Oh, okay, that's cool. Oh. Might have to try that sometime when the farmers take their crops in. Let's see here. You'd like to get started as a smith. What equipment should you use first? Hand hammer and something that you can pound upon. And then just give yourself the time that it takes. Too many guys, a lot of guys. Hey, Paul's Garage, good to see you, buddy. So it must be dried. Okay, I'll keep that in mind. Too many guys, when you're first starting out, you try to progress too quickly. And I try to express that a lot in my videos, is that people try to progress too quickly above their own skill set. And they need to have that time to let their calluses on their hands build. You know, these things. They didn't get there from nothing, you know. You got to let your calluses build up, you know, you got to let the strength build up. You have to let that endurance build, and then let those skills build also. And if you can get somebody, to take and tutor you, it can shave years off your learning curve. So that's my advice for beginners just getting started. As far as tooling, it will come, and it will come at the rate you're willing to pay for it, or you're willing to learn how to build it. That's usually the two ways that it comes. So most of the stuff in my shop is home-built stuff, guys, if I can. Oh, I made coal forge that has straps. Backpack. Huh, you can wear it as a backpack. That's awesome. Popcorn's a different critter. There you go. Yeah, you're right, Brian Neely. Purgatory Ironworks does do a good job on instructing, you know, people. So, glad to see that you just subscribed, Paul. That's awesome, man. Thanks. Been enjoying your channel as well. It's a lot of fun. Yep, a 2-pound cross peen and a train track anvil. Yep, that'll get it done. So, I'm a real big believer. So, a little bit about me. I'll just give a little bit about me here. You know, when I first got started in blacksmithing, you know, I had my 3-pound Harbor Freight hammer. My folks had bought me a post vise, from an older gentleman blacksmith. So I did have that, but I didn't have it at first. So I had a Harbor Freight bench top vise. I had a Harbor Freight hammer. I had a Harbor Freight leather welding apron as my apron for blacksmithing, and my gloves. And yeah, and I had a Harbor Freight anvil. I had that, and my wife found me a forge at a garage sale. And so that was my original smithing setup. I had caught the bug, and I would have smithed with anything that I had. And, you know, so it's been a lot of years to get to the point where I'm at now. And, you know, it takes a lot of money too, so... You made one of my power hammers. Awesome. Awesome. I don't know about the genius part, but it's awesome that you made the hammer and that it's working out good for you. Awesome. Yeah, I agree that steel anvils is what you should have, but when you're just getting started out, I don't think that matters much. And, you know, everybody wants to start with a really good anvil, and I'd say that's a good thing. But I haven't trained a lot of new guys that are freshly green that's come up to, like, Sofa, and that's even come out to my shop. And they have a horrible time with aim. So, you know, getting a really super nice anvil to start maybe not be the right thing to go when you're first beginning. It doesn't really matter if it's cast or steel. Now, I will tell you, as soon as you can move up to a really good anvil and your skills are there, do it in a heartbeat. So I beat on that Harbor Freight anvil for 4 years. 4 years before I finally found a real anvil. So, and then, you know, and at that time I didn't know about, well, I wasn't sure about the scrap yards or anything like that. Yeah, if you can find an anvil-shaped object from a junkyard, that's a good thing too, so... Let's see here. You couldn't find the 1.5 to 3/4 bell reducer for burner flare. I'll have to read that when it comes back up. Sorry. As soon as somebody comments, say hello or something, it'll pop back up. There you go. You think 1.25 bell will do the job? An 1.25 bell will probably do the job. Now the strainer screen in the inside of that burner flare, that fit perfectly, so you might have to just adjust that a little bit. and it'll help you out. So, yeah, making a cheap, mild steel striking anvil for your apprentice. That's the way to go about it. That's for sure. I don't let anybody hit Olga but me. Oh, that's one of those no-nos. So, hey, good chatting with you too, Dave. Oh. Yeah. Well, think about this, Jackson. You are awesome, buddy. You're getting started something that you're going to be able to do for a very long time. Hey, Gene, what's up, buddy? Oh. So let's see here. So we're about 35 minutes in, and we've got 37 people watching. That's pretty cool. So I wouldn't expect anybody to stay around this long. And 39 thumbs up. That's awesome, fellas. And ladies, if there's any ladies out there, thank you all. There. Yep, a 2-inch solid bar from an old trailer hitch will do it. Yeah, it's best when you first get started, you know, guys, not to overthink the whole anvil and the tooling thing. Now, I will tell you, I'll tell you straight up, you know, you're not supposed to stay there forever. You're supposed to keep progressing. So, you just got back from American Bladesmiths at Sofa. Oh, awesome, Gene. See, I didn't know that was going on Friday. Oh, thanks, Joshua. Oh. Hi, Chris from Winnipeg. Nice to meet you. So, yeah, I didn't know the ABS thing was going on today up there at Sofa. I thought it was. I heard that Joel Worley took his Master Smith test and passed, so that's awesome. The hammer in is all weekend. Okay. Oh, I'm gonna see if maybe I can breeze by tomorrow, but I'm not sure. I've got a lot of work on the plate to do. So awesome. What is my top-selling trinket? Well, that's a good question. So I don't really sell trinkets anymore. Mainly all my work is $100 and up items because that's where my clientele's at. But I would say probably my top-selling trinkets was hooks. I mean, you could bust out a bunch of hooks and you can make a pretty amicable living at it, but you're going to turn into a bit of a machine when you're making nothing but hooks. That was probably one of my top sellers. Probably the most profitable thing that I made that was a trinket was a calla lily. They don't take much time to make. They're a pretty simple form. And yeah, that was probably the biggest money earner. Like if I were to go to a demo, like a live demonstration, a show, an art gallery, something like that, those were the best. So where did I buy Olga from? Well, I got Olga from all the way down in Georgia, and I bought it from a white supremacist, actually. It was an interesting story. Didn't know the guy was a white supremacist. He was really touched. So, very, very touched up here. The guy was out there. So, it was interesting. I didn't convert or anything, but I was glad to get out of there with my anvil for sure. But yeah, I bought it on eBay though, sight unseen. But yeah, beautiful anvil though. It's real good. It's a real great anvil. I've been enjoying it. Let's see here. So 39 watchers right now. That is awesome. Any other questions? Let's see here. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, it was. Olga weighs 465 pounds. Yeah, Jackson, I'm gonna have to try that punching holes in the hardy hole from corner to corner. That would be very interesting. I think I might try that this week actually. Well, nice to meet you, Horse. At least that's what your call-out name is there. Oh. An iron hand, huh? Oh. Yeah, Steve Olin, yeah, she is a big girl, that's for sure. Oh. No, Blake, I do not still go to flea or farmers markets. I sell predominantly all online. So, have you had a regulator mess up? I was lighting my new gas forge and poof, blowing the lit paper out and stopped working. Yep, I've had cheap regulators mess up all the time. That's why I'll recommend, like I did in my burner video, I will recommend to guys all the time that you need to take in buy the best regulator you can. Just safety reasons, just alone. Years ago, I had a cheap regulator set for oxyacetylene, and I was actually brazing in a homeowner's basement. And yeah, my Etsy page is the same name as my channel, Steve. So, anyways, yeah, I was in the homeowner's basement, and I actually had a regulator blow up on me. It had developed a small leak without me knowing, and I mean, it blew the regulator clean off the top of the bottle, of the acetylene bottle. Scared me half to death. Shot a flame about 10 feet up into the rafters, and it really rattled my cages. So after that, I am a safety Nazi when it comes to regulators. I will get the best regulator that I can. I always check my fittings and those sort of things. That type of thing will scare you into that. I about died that day, so definitely something to look into. Let's see here. You need to melt aluminum engine into a large sheet. Well, I don't know how to help you on that one. I'm not much into casting, and I'm not really up on all the science on that one. Sorry. What's my view on converting an old grill to a forge? You know, use what you got. Use what you got. As I said in some of my other videos. Well, the one that was it was quite popular, quite dicey on "Are you a real blacksmith?" is I mean, there's people in India that have ground forges that are just kicked in the mud wherever they can set up at, gypsies, things like that. And, and they just stick a blower into the side of it and they start smithing. So, if you got the itch, do whatever you can. If it's an old grill, then that's great. Don't buy too big of a brake drum. I see a lot of guys doing that, buying like really wide and really deep brake drums, and it just eats up so much fuel. So cool, you like the gauge video there, Jackson. So yeah, that's a fun little project. It's a little challenging. You think, oh, I know what 1/4 inch looks like, and it ain't 1/4 inch for sure. So it's a pretty fun video. Which do I like better, coal or gas? That's a good question. I am a coal fanatic. I love coal, and actually more specifically, I like coke. I like using a coke forge better than I do coal. Coal puts off a lot of smoke, is where coke not so much. But I do find myself using gas forge a lot, and mainly because I'm absent-minded and I got a lot of other things to do in the shop. So I can throw some metal in the gas forge and then I can walk over somewhere else and get some welding done or something like that while I'm waiting for the metal to heat up. So that can speed up my production. So let's see here. Bouncy castle blower to blow the forge. What do you think? I wouldn't do a bouncy castle blower to blow in the forge. That's just too much air. And that was answering Gene's question there. The thing about a coal forge is a coal forge does not need as much air as you think it does. You need to get enough. You need to get enough air into it that you get the color of the forge where you're sticking your metal up to the color you want your steel to be. And then no more air. I mean, you don't need to take and kill it with the air. That's one thing about the electric blowers. I mean, you'll see guys, they'll have flames sticking up, just like a torch out of the top, and cinders flying like crazy, and just consuming a lot of fuel, and, they're really over-oxidizing their metal. And if you all like, I'll do a video on that. If you would like me to, I'll do that. But yeah, I want. You saw that on Forged in Fire. Okay, well, I mean, I wouldn't suggest it. I think it's too much air. That's my personal opinion, with knowing how coal forges work and things like that. Your videos are very well. Thank you, Joshua. So I try to make them that way if I can. So now I'm assuming. Well, I'll have to. You know what? Let me take that back. You know about the bouncy house blowers. I'm not quite sure how big of a blower you're saying they are. You know, the bouncy house blowers that I've seen have been these like really big dudes that are like, I mean, they throw out like 500-600 CFM of airflow, and they're like, or 1,000 CFM. I mean, they're insane, like insane amounts of air. So, yeah, Gene, yeah, that I've heard that it was pretty small. So, you use an electric motor that is much smaller. Yep. Oh, good. Yep. Yeah, you don't want to blow too much air through the forge. That's a mistake. It starts scaling the metal a lot. Oh, and you know, you just don't want to do that. Yeah, and you know, if you use too big of a blower, you throw too much air through there. You know, you need to be able to regulate that. So, you know, if you're working on a little small bit like this, you know, but you're running forge welding heat through this, I mean, you're going to burn this every time. And if you're not regulating that somehow, I mean, you're throwing a lot of extra oxygen. And if you notice, this was forged, I don't know if it'll focus, this was forged in a coal forge. And that's just brushed, as brushed from the forge. And you can see it doesn't have a bunch of, like, angry, nasty pitting on it or anything. This wasn't touched on a wire wheel or anything like that. That's straight from the forge. That's because I got a hand crank blower and I don't crank enough air through at all. I'm glad this channel has been helping everybody out there. I've made $244 from selling hooks and pokers by word of mouth. That is awesome, Jackson. Yep, a small squirrel cage blower will work. Yep, they can be damped down too. Here, oh, actually, I'll grab this off. Oh, my shop's a mess, guys. In between so many projects. So this is for an upcoming project. This is for a gas forge build. Well, for a gas forge build that I'll be doing in the future videos. But this blower right here is about all you need for a coal forge. And this runs about 58 bucks on Amazon. So, you know, that's, once again, that can be pricey. But if you consider that, you know, a lot of coal forges are anywhere from $600 all the way up to $1,200 made by somebody, if you can fabricate it, that's the way to go, you know, with a blower like this. Either an air gate or put a slide damper in front of the blower here. And I have one of these on my gas forge, and I mean, the thing's been running for well over a year now, solidly. So, yeah, a hand crank blower out of leaf blower, that'd be interesting. So, oh, I had some questions on the last burner build that I had. The last burner build that I did, you know, I used that Coleman airbed pump, and I did have a guy that it didn't work out so great for him, and it wasn't the airbed pump. He chose to do a hair dryer instead. That burner needs PSI, not CFM, so that burner is going to require pressure, and that's because of the globe. I was informed that that's a globe valve, not a plumber, not a gate valve. When I was in HVAC, we call anything that had a twist handle a gate valve, so we never really paid attention. But you know, that's the way that is. But that burner requires pressure. It requires a constant PSI applied to it in order for that burner to run efficiently, just like a blowtorch, essentially. Hey, as long as the tongs work, man, that's great. So. No, my shop actually used to be behind my house. It was just a little tiny shop, but nope, now it's out in front of my house in a tractor barn. My opinion on ribbon burners. I don't really have an opinion. I can't formulate one because I've never used a ribbon burner. I know a lot of guys like them. I believe the concept is quite similar to just any forced air burner. I think it spreads a larger, makes a larger torch flame, so to speak, and that's where people get more of the concept that it's a broader heat. But you know, I can't really comment a lot on that because I've never used one. So, and I don't like telling people. You know, I don't like telling people stuff that I don't know. A very even heat. Yeah, that'd be cool. It's all right, Gary. You'll get it next time, pal. Oh. So, by a show of votes, just say yes if you guys would like to see me do a in-depth tong video. I've been thinking about it, doing it all by the anvil and going really in-depth for everybody. Got 2 yeses. Okay. Okay, great. Bunch of people. So, yeah, tongs are a hard thing for a lot of people to get down. Mainly because tongs require a lot of forging to dimension or forging to spec. If no one's seen that video, I suggest you go check that video out, forging to spec, and then there's a follow-up video where I made a gauge, a blacksmith gauge, out of that. And that is a very good exercise if you're going to undertake making a bunch of tongs. And, you know, I'll go through an in-depth video on making tongs by hand. That way I can help everybody out there. So, well, thank you. I do enjoy educating people. It's something that I really am passionate about. Excuse me. Oh, man. Burping up dinner. Woo! Here. Let's see here. Yeah, I'm really big into education. I've had so many guys come along, and I've had a lot of blessings and opportunities to be able to go study under people that are like way outside my. They're way outside my skill set. I mean, they're crazy. You know, crazy with their ironwork. And, you know, I've taken classes with Tom Latney, Peter Ross, Clay Spencer, Wayne Apgar, who else? There's a bunch. There's a bunch to list there. Those are the 4 big names right off the top of my head that I've taken classes with. And, you know, and I've taken multiple, I've sat at multiple monthly meetings at SOFA and watched live demonstrations. I've read a lot of books on blacksmithing. I have, you know, I've been doing a lot as far as education in the side of blacksmithing. I've taught a bunch of classes. I've taught a bunch of people, everybody from completely green to more experienced people, you know, and yeah, I mean, sometimes I click with people and other people I don't click with, you know, they just don't like my way of teaching, and that's okay too, you know, so. If somebody wants you to teach blacksmithing at your church, it would be my suggestion, you know, to keep it simple. Sorry for the notifications, guys. It's on the phone. It's part of my life. But I would keep it as simple as possible. You know, keep things to very simple projects, doing little tiny hooks or leaves or things of that nature. Don't get too specific with them. Don't try to teach them how to, don't teach them how to take and reinvent the wheel here. You know, they don't have to be professional. The leaf don't have to look good. A lot of people, just having the experience of it's fun enough. So, you know, keep your setup small and simple if you want to teach it that way. Yes, Megan, I have made a leaf tutorial. I've made a couple of them, actually. So. And Jackson, that's awesome that you're teaching your friend how to make S-hooks. So. I know you, Corey. You like my box jaw tongs. Oh. I'll probably start with a simple set first. Box jaws are kind of their own little bird. So, anyways, this is awesome. Yeah, made a mistake of trying to make a railroad spike knife right from the get-go. Yeah, you know, I think that is everybody's mistake right off the bat. You know, I was even gifted like a bunch of railroad spikes. Oh, Shadowcaster, you get out of here, man. That knife making business. There you go, all over again. You made a subscriber yesterday. Awesome. Was it family, friend, or other? Yeah, when I first got started into blacksmithing, I kind of went the route of knife for a second. I realized real quick I did not want to do that at all. You were working on a railroad spike knife earlier, yeah. Oh, actually, comically enough, one of the first items I ever sold that was $100. This was insane. This was insane for me. The very first item I ever sold was a railroad spike tomahawk. And I made an all-steel handle because I didn't have a drift big enough to like drift it out for a wooden handle. And so I made like this twisted 5/8" square steel handle, and it had a big rat's tail on the end of it. And you know, I feel bad now, you know, for the customer, but you know, I mean, he was impressed with my work at that time, and he was impressed with it, and he thought it was great. So it was a win for him, and it really propelled me to think about, you know, wanting to do more. But I took that mentality. I took that mentality to Touchstone, and that was a problem. So my very first blacksmithing class, I'll tell you all this story. My very first blacksmithing class ever was at Touchstone Center for Crafts in Wharton Furnace, Pennsylvania. I went there and I took a class with a guy by the name of Wayne Apgar. He was a union pipe fitter, and so pretty rough around the edges. And there's another guy there by the name of Dennis Gilkey. He's kind of like the maintenance guy and kind of like the head guy over the blacksmith shop. And I came there and I had a bloated ego like you wouldn't believe, because, you know, I had been selling some stuff. You know, I've been selling some things. So as far as making railroad spikes into something else, there's 1,000 things. I would Google images for sure. There's a bunch out there. But, oh, my story. So, I take this tomahawk that I'm so super proud of. Yes, I've made vases for roses. I took this tomahawk that I was so super proud of. I took it up there, and the guy asked me, he's like, "Oh, you're here for the blacksmithing class?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm here for the blacksmithing class." And, yeah, not you, who'd have thunk it. Yeah, I am pretty bad about that. So, he's like, "Oh, you brought your work?" I'm like, "You know, I might bring something to you, you know, here in a minute when I get offloaded. I'll show you what I've been doing." And I take it up, and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm thinking about going pro," you know, like as if pro was a real thing. And anyways, so I take it up there, and there's a few other classmates up there. They all look, oh, very nice, you know. And then Wayne Apgar looks at it. He didn't say much, you know. He was the instructor. And this guy, Dennis, thank God he was the only honest person in the whole group. He took it, he looked at it once, he handed it back, and he said, "Looks like crap." Just that honest. No smile. I thought he was joking there for a second, and then, like, it dawned on me. I'm like, I'm not going to like this week class at all, man. It popped the bubble. I learned a lot of things that week. A lot of things that week. Yeah, you wanted to make a railroad spike knife, but you did most of the work. Yeah, that'll happen with apprentices. I actually, Joshua, I have a video coming out on my recommended top books that I read when I first got going. So just hold on, and I'll get a video out on that. I don't have them on the top of my head here. So. This is pretty amazing, guys. We have been at this and counting down 2, 1. Yeah, we've been at this an hour. 42 people and 51 likes. This is awesome. Working on a farrier's rasp and watching in a live stream. I'm my own apprentice. It kind of sucks. Yeah, I feel your pain, Steve Olin. Oh. Yeah, now I have 21. So I'll also take in. So I had a question from Graham Pepper, I believe is his name. I always want to call him Prepper, but I don't think that's it. It's Pepper. I had a question from him about if I was going to do any sort of celebrations for all the subscribers, which, by the way, it's looking like by Saturday we will be close to 7,000 subs, which is blowing my mind. And, like, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about, you know, just doing big things about subscribers. You know, I guess I don't want to, you know, I feel like I provide a lot of value there. I want to appreciate subscribers in some way, but also I'm pretty tight on time frames and stuff, so I don't feel like I can offer much other than to just do like a shout out at like 10,000 subs and just tell you guys how much I appreciate you subscribing to the channel. Yep, another notification. Those are classic. I was an apprentice and now I am the master, haha. All right, Sarah Mike. Who's got the bloated ego now? Oh. Do I enjoy working on blades? Not at all. Not at all. No. Jackson, it was great seeing you on the live stream, bud. Have a great night. Oh. Yeah, knives are just not my thing. You know, I can forge them. I can forge them very well and forge them close to finish. And yep, get to grinding and I just can't stomach it. I get to the grinding and I'm done. You know, I can't stand standing in front of a grinder for, you know, the amount of time that it takes you knife guys out there to do what you do. So, mass respect for knife makers, it's just not really my thing. You know, standing for hours and dipping in water and then water and then water and then water. Whoo, man. I don't know how you all do it out there. So. Awesome. Got to get back to work. Thanks for all you do and share. You're welcome, Blake. Good luck at work. Who is my favorite blacksmith on YouTube? Well, my original favorite blacksmith on YouTube was Mark Asbury, actually. And I actually took a class with him as well. He was my favorite there. I really enjoyed his smithing style a lot. And yeah, I mean, it was very clean and concise and like straight, and it kind of fit my personality. My favorites now is Big Dog Forge, Tim over there at Big Dog Forge. Let's see here, who else? Dennis over at DF in the shop. I really enjoy the information he puts out there and the different spins he puts. Yeah, I can post a link to their channels. After this video concludes and it does its rendering and stuff, I'll put a link. I'll put a link to their channels in the description, I guess it would be. Let's see here. I couldn't quite read the one about the anvils and stuff, as far as securing them. But I might do a video on that to try to help everybody out. Yeah, I watched Chandler Dickinson. I have seen a lot of his videos. So, and the oldest tool in my shop is probably my coal forge. I think it's got like a patent date on it of like 18 something another. It's like 18, or no, It's like 1906 or something like that. So that's the oldest tool probably in my shop. Giveaways get you a lot of subs. It does not need to cost you anything other than some time and scrap. Small project giveaway. Yeah, I might do a giveaway like that. I do some giveaways over at my newsletter on my blacksmithpdfs.com website. I do a monthly newsletter, so if you guys haven't checked that out, maybe you want to go subscribe to that. I do some giveaways there. I feel like if I maybe do a giveaway on YouTube in particular, it doesn't become relevant. 12 years from now when it's still on YouTube, I'll still be getting comments like, did I win? Can I explain the channel name? So, my channel name? What's your newest tool? Probably would be my Bosch tools. And actually, I got a boom box right behind you. That's probably my newest tool. Need some tunes to listen to in the shop. So, yeah. So we'll see you, Peter. Have a good night. So, the reason why I named my channel the way I named my channel, Christ-Centered Ironworks, when I started making a push to want to take and do something meaningful with my life, other than just working a 9-to-5 and it just only really benefiting me, I had dreams and hopes and ambitions for my business that I wanted it to reflect what I stood for. And I am a very big Christian, and I've got my flaws, so don't go looking up to me for anything for that. But I wanted it to reflect Christ-like business practices. I wanted it to keep me in check. So this way, whenever I would to respond to a customer or I would respond to somebody, I would think like, there's no doubt that you're a Christian. I mean, that's kind of like you're stating that up front. And so it kind of kept me accountable. So good night, Shadowcaster. We'll see you later, pal. So, but yeah, that was kind of the reason behind the name, and I wanted to make dead sure that people knew who they were dealing with and that they could hold me accountable to that. And so if I say something amiss or I hurt somebody, I want them to hold me accountable and not let me just get away with it. I don't believe in having dark corners. Dark corners of my life, and so I kind of put it all out there as like, hey, I'm here. What you see is what you get out of me. If you meet me in person, I'm the same person. You're not going to get a different person. I'm not going to be extra nice to you. I'm not going to be extra mean. I'm not going to be anything else other than what I am. So and I think that's the best way to be genuine and honest as a person. Is just be true to yourself that way, and part of myself is Christ, and that's who I identify with. So that's why my name is what it is. I hope that answers the question. Sorry, I didn't mean to preach too much, but that's, it's the story. I'm glad to hear that you're saved, Megan, and I'm glad you agree with me, Joshua. That's great. Oh. That was good. So, yeah, that's one of those interesting things, and maybe that'll be a topic for a whole nother live stream probably. So, yeah, that'll probably be a topic. So, hi, Christine Alexander. So, yeah, that'll be a topic for a whole nother live stream. I'd like to get into that a little bit, about how, how that works in life and society. Hurricane weather is getting serious. That's what I've been hearing on the news from time to time, so I'm glad you're a big fan there, Christine. Glad to have you on the channel. Yeah, I've been hearing that's supposed to be a pretty big one, but like in Ohio, I don't believe a lot of the news weather forecasts. A lot of times they'll forecast everything and its brother, and then it doesn't happen, or it doesn't hit as big as they said, or it hits 10 times worse than they said. So I usually sleep pretty comfortable at night. You're on the Louisiana coast? Okay. Well, you would know better than I would about it. I'm in Ohio, so I'm far away from the sea. Well, I tell you what, this has been awesome. I've really enjoyed doing this live stream with everybody. This has been pretty great. So, how weird is it to sit in your shop and talk to so many people? It is very weird. I am completely alone in here. So, Clay Sap, it was good seeing you too, buddy. Have a great night. So, Gene, yeah, it's surreal. It's kind of odd. I'm in here all by myself. See you, Steve. Oh, take care, buddy. Be safe out there. Yeah, I'm in my shop all the time. So, good night, John. I'm in the shop all by myself all day, this, that, and the only time I talk to really anybody is when I talk to Jess or, you know, the camera. So that's a little weird. Yeah, you can give me that message if you want. If you want to go over to my website, if you want to send it to my email, which is christcenteredforge@yahoo.com, you guys can contact me there. You know, with anything that you guys want to send me, like links or anything of that nature. Keep it, you know, keep it clean. At a shop making a gate. Well, that's pretty awesome, making a gate. I made a gate with Clay Spencer doing traditional joinery in a class, and that was a week worth of work. That was a hustle week for me. So never done that before. That's a lot of work. Well, this is definitely cool. So, well, I think we definitely proved that the live chat works. I don't know what time it is right now. Let's see here. It looks like 9:10, so, you know, that's not too bad. And you guys want to go a little longer, or are you ready to call it? Oh, it seems like we're down to about 27 diehards now. Yeah, usually I get ready for bed about around 9 o'clock. Like my routine, I wake up at 5 a.m., I read the Bible with my wife. We talk about business and ourselves. You know, and then that's about 5 a.m. I'm usually in the shop by 6:30, 7 a.m. every morning. And then, you know, I usually don't leave the shop until about 9 o'clock in the evening. Sometimes earlier if we have something else to do, and sometimes if I got a lot of editing to do as far as filming and stuff, and then that can take up till about 10:30, 11 o'clock at night before we conk out. So makes for some pretty long days, but I'm going to call it easy for tonight since I'm doing this live stream. This is fun. This is a lot of fun. I can't tell you guys how much enjoyment I'm getting out of this, talking to you all. It's a pretty cool experience. So let's see here. Let's see a picture when you finish it. Okay. I'm not sure what you're referring to there, but are treadle hammers useful? Let's see here. So my thoughts on treadle hammers. I have arthritis in my hips, and I know I'm a young man. I am 29 this year. I'll be 30 next year. So for anybody who wants to know my age, now it's out there on the internet, so everybody knows. But I did a lot of skateboarding when I was real young, all the way up until, well, I got a job when I was like 15, 16. I got a job and I stopped skateboarding a lot then. But I was the type of guy I didn't want to wear pads and knee pads and things like that. And so busting your knees on concrete skateboard ramps and bowls and things like that, that really did it to me. And so now I've got some arthritis in my hips. And so working a treadle hammer really irritates that and agitates that. So I don't like to use a treadle hammer myself. I do believe they're great if you need that extra hand to just set something, to do good setting blows. But as far as using them to draw material out, I wouldn't use them for that purpose. I would get a power hammer, or pay for the upgrade to make a treadle hammer become a power hammer. I don't know Ed from Atlas Forge. I'm sure I've probably talked to him if he's ever been at Quad State. How did I get my first anvil? My parents bought it for me for Christmas at Harbor Freight. That was my very first anvil. So, yeah, my very first anvil. And, you know, they changed a little bit, too. I mean, they went to, like, a lot cruddier looking anvil. I don't know what they were thinking there. I mean, I wouldn't buy the anvil they got there now for sure. But, yeah, it was just a little 55-pound cast iron anvil that I worked on. I worked on that for 4 years until I found a good deal on anvil down in Kentucky. So, yeah, a boat anchor for sure. So, do you have to be a paid member of SOFA for quad for a day? I have to go with free. Well, when the thing comes back up. So the way Quad State works is it's a whole... Yeah, there you go, Gene. You can answer it for me. I greatly appreciate that. Yeah, you pay the day rate. Cool. Thanks, Gene, for posting that link. That'll be good. And I'll try to put some of this down in the description, too. So, thank you, Miss. Love your business here. Hey, you're very welcome, Ramzillion. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, the business practices, they really apply to just about everywhere. You have to change your tactics a little bit. If you are selling live and in person, it is best to do a live demo. And in fact, I did a video on that. And so, you know, you can look under the Blacksmithing a Business series, and I did about live demos. And I really suggest doing live demonstrations. I made the most money when I was swinging a hammer at shows or events than if I was just sitting there trying to sell my work, because there's a disconnect to the public of what you do, and it's your job to educate them, and then, you know, by providing that value of education and what's on your table there, they see the value in you as a person, and then they're usually much more interested in supporting what you do, for sure. Oh, and one update, too, for everybody. I should have probably said this at the start of the live stream when we had so many people. But the guys that stayed around here. But thank you, Joshua. Oh. We decided we're going to go ahead and try the merchandise. That will probably be out sometime mid-September. We're hoping. We're still working it out. It's going to be just a simple logo shirt that is going to have my shop crest, which is an anvil with a cross in the center of it, and then the laurels all the way around. Sorry, pointing at this shirt, but essentially it'll be a front thing like that. And so we have a guy like, I don't know, they have to put it in a vector image or something like that. I don't know. I'm not big on what that is. Essentially, it's something that they can print, they can blow up or resize, and it doesn't get all blocky or weird. So they have to do this image, so we're paying a guy to do that, and then, you know, we should have some shirts. And right now it's looking like we're going to do Teespring, and we're just going to kind of just run a short time Teespring campaign and see if anybody's interested in getting some shirts that way. Because I think Teespring, they allow you to do like as low as like 10 shirts, and the way that works is we set a number that we think somebody's going to, how many people are going to purchase a shirt, and they don't charge anybody and they don't ship anything until there's at least 10 people. So I think that's the lowest number. You know, you expect 10 people to buy a shirt. Once you exceed that number, then they charge the 10 people that have signed up for the shirt. They charge them. Those people get their shirts, and then if there's any additional after that, then it's just whatever that way. Which it sounds easy enough. We're going to try it. We're going to see how that goes. We're kind of new to that in the merchandise things. Yeah, YouTube is blocking links. That's okay, Gene. Hey, Gene, just send that to my email if you would, and I'll just put it in the description after the live chat's over with, if that'll work for you. So any other questions for me? Anything you guys have just been itching to tell me? All right, so I mount my railroad anvil upside down. When it comes to your railroad anvil, a railroad anvil doesn't have much mass to it to begin with. So whether you're working on the top hardened surface or the wider bottom surface, you're still held back by that thin web right in the center, because that's essentially where all of your impact's going. And it's flexing, and that's why they ring so bad, because they resonate back and forth like that. And so that's, I don't think there's a difference in that. I know some guys, they will turn them up completely on end and just work from the end. And, well, that's awesome, Brian. Oh, over half your minimum there. Good. Thanks, Gene, for the link. I'll make sure it gets in there. Oh, that's what the notification is. If anybody hasn't known, Gene's a friend of mine. He's also the videographer up there at Sofa currently. He's taking over, doing the videos and stuff. He's a real great guy. Do I have any other blacksmiths in my family or ancestry? Nope, not that I know of. I don't think I have any. Craft show this year. What is yours? I'll have to read that comment when it comes back up there. Sorry. For the person who just posted it. That's kind of an annoying thing. So, sell some hooks, etc. Craft show this year. What do you suggest or advise for setup? As far as to set up, you know, if you're talking about tooling and equipment, I would say my first demo, I had a small 1-brick forge. And a 1-brick forge with a torch poked in the side of it, you know, the type you whittle out with a spoon. That was my first setup. So go with what you got. I would make it light and portable and easy to clean up. So the other thing you want to do probably is take something that can stand up to create some standoffs, a barrier between you and the public. That would be a good thing, or at least around your forging area if you're demonstrating. You're welcome, Joshua. And a small ammo can could work for a propane forge. You just have to insulate it really well. You might not have a lot of area in there, so if you're doing like flat things, that would work good. No, Corey, I'm never coming to the Bladesmith side. This Joker here, he's a friend of mine as well, so I've tutored him a couple times and things, and he's still not coming over to the ornamental side, so I don't know if anybody knows him or not, but Corey Morris. Gotta watch it, Corey. I might have to block you. Yeah, refractory is good for lining. The one thing with K-wool, I would probably go with K-wool's lighter, but I would probably go with like a hard brick. And the only reason why I'm saying that is if you do not treat the fibers of K-wool, they can blow out. And if you're standing in front of it a lot, you can inhale those fibers. If you're open air and no one's around it, but I mean it's the public, so I would watch. I would watch doing that. I would just do I would do a fire brick liner if I was going to do it. That way you don't have to worry about all the little ceramic fibers floating around and somebody coming back on you. Those are my suggestions for that. So, yeah, you can line K-wool with refractory cement. There's different brands you can get, and then you can also mix your own too. So, I don't use any charcoal in my forge, mainly because I don't have charcoal around here. I did use charcoal quite extensively when I worked with Tom Latney because that's all he uses. It's pretty good stuff. Burns real clean. It's great to forge weld in or braise or do anything else like that in the fire. Lovely stuff like that. But you eat it up a lot. So you buy Munimus coal from eBay. I'm not sure how expensive that is, you know, but I mean, if that's where you got to get it from, that's a good way to do it. Another option, depending on where you're at, Sarah or Mike, in the country, you may want to try to get to SOFA. Once a year, they do a big haul in of coal, and they bring in like 23 tons. And if you help shovel, you can get it at a reduced rate too. Yeah, Satanite. I've never used Satanite. I don't know about it. Yeah, the seal. Yeah, paint on treatments like that. Yeah. Yeah, North Carolina, that's not too far. I mean, I would say it's worth the drive if you wanted to come up and get a ton. I know it might break different for gas. I guess it's really how much forging you actually do. So, if you're adhering to good forging practices, like with a coal forge and things like that, and actually I might just do a live stream on that. That would be cool. Just setting up a coal forge and, you know, burning and showing a correct flame, correct burn in that. I think that would be handy to folks. Showing exactly what a good burn looks like, and so this way you're not pumping so much air through it. Because I could take 50 pounds of coal, throw it on the forge, and I can work a 12-hour day in 50 pounds of coal. So, and I mean, I'm moving a lot of metal. That's starting from green, by the way. Yep, you're exactly right. Coal forges should be a good contained fire like an oven. Yep. Corey. Oh, man. That's all right, buddy. Next time you come over, I'll get you back. Next time you come over. The reckoning is coming. So, I just did I'll have a video up here soon. I just did a test video. I've been testing out some different mixes, by the way, for making fire brick. And I've got a new forge design that's coming up that is like one giant fire brick is what it is, with a chamber in the center of it. And so far I'm liking it. I did a test. I just did a test, and I did a test video of it. So that'll be up within, you know, I don't know, 4 or 5 days. I got a few other videos I'm getting out over the weekend. So hopefully everybody will enjoy that. So. All right, let's see here. I think I'm gonna end the live stream here after about, I'm gonna take about 5 more minutes or so. Let's see here. All types of car springs. Yeah, I believe you can. I don't know. Some of the newer ones aren't that great. Favorite style forge is a coal forge with a hand crank blower. That's my favorite. Night, Gene. Yeah, I just like my tools that I got, so I'm doing great. Cool. I like it. You know, it is kind of weird. I actually used to be quite camera shy. I'd say it was 2 years ago. You're welcome, Robert. 2 years ago, I tried to do YouTube. And if you look way back, all the way back at my beginning videos, they were like silent films and things like that. Because I literally tried to like stand in front of a camera and talk. And when you're staring into the soulless black pit, which is the iris of the camera, it's a little more intimidating than you might think. Yeah, it used to be shy until you started blacksmithing. Yeah, that'll take some of the shyness away, that's for sure. I'm glad you've been enjoying the videos, Ron. Really glad to hear that. I like the champion blowers for coal forges. Yep. I like the champion blowers for the coal forges. Yeah, you're yeah, you're right. It does get better. Well, it can get worse too if you're talking to you know, 1,000 people here on the other side of the thing, that can scare you too. I'm gonna plug in the phone here. It's giving me the warning. Tell me I'm gonna drop you. Anyways, another great advantage of having the Bosch boombox behind me there. Yeah, you know, I'm a lot more comfortable now talking on camera because I've realized that, you know, I'm talking to people, just guys that like care on the other end. And I don't have to have everything right. I don't have to have everything scripted. I don't have to be some sort of TV personality. I just need to be myself. And, you know, and there's going to be people who like that, and there's going to be people who dislike that. And that's okay, you know. I'm here to educate as much as I can and give of my time and knowledge that I can. Some people that doesn't strike good, some people it does. And so since I've adapted that kind of mentality, it really, really helps me talk to the camera and like talk to you guys out there and express my feelings and things on that. And I hope that makes me more of a real person and not a robot, you know. I don't like being Roboto Roy. Am I going to do this video live next Friday? Let's see here. What is next Friday? Next Friday is in the month. Yeah, I think I will. I'm going to give it my best shot. So what I will try to do is in one of my videos that are coming up, leading up, I will try to let you all know. It'll, like maybe one of my videos on Wednesday or something, of next week, I will try to make sure to say in one of the videos that come out that day to let you all know that I have a video coming up on Friday to tell you when the lives are. I'm going to try to keep it to Fridays for right now. That's what I'm going to try to do. And if I got to change, then I'll change it to suit the schedule if I can do that. But I definitely like this. Now, I may not be able to do an hour-long video. To be perfectly honest, I literally thought this was going to be a 5-minute thing and no one was going to show up. And it was just going to be me talking aimlessly to my phone in my shop and people like wandering by and like, what is Roy doing? What is Roy doing? Why is he talking to himself in the forge all day long? The guy's lost his mind. Yeah, that's a great way of doing it. Yeah. Just look at the camera like it's your friend you're talking to. Good night, Robert. God bless you, buddy. Thanks for commenting. Yeah, the heat of the forge has finally got to the poor guy. Oh, there's been times, so. Yep, divine providence, brother. Amen. Yeah, I've been in here before and singing, like, at the top of my lungs and have my earphones on and running a power hammer. I'm just singing, la, 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 la. And, yeah, I can't carry a tune in the bucket. And I'll literally have somebody, like, standing right at my door where they stopped in, like the UPS guy. Like, he'll just show up and just be, like, waiting. It's hilarious, so. Yeah, just make sure I end the video before I go to the bathroom. Yeah, that'd be a good one. I'll end the video for sure. Yeah, it's definitely embarrassing. It's definitely embarrassing, so. Jim asked, have I used sucker rod? No, I have never used sucker rod, and I can't tell you I quite know what sucker rod is. So, yeah, never used this stuff, personally. Yeah, the awkward times, I have not worked myself up, by the way. I have not worked myself up to doing, like, a vlog. Where, you know, I like walk in like a crowd of people. Like I don't know how guys do that yet, but maybe I'll do that eventually. Hey, Tim, good to see you, buddy. Big Dog Forge in the house. Good to see you. Thank you for your shout out, by the way. And God bless you for that. That really blessed me and Jess. We really appreciated that. Really appreciated that. And for anybody who hasn't seen Big Dog Forge's, Tim over at Big Dog Forge, like I said, I'll put a link to his channel in the description down below after the live stream concludes. He does some real great stuff over there. I really enjoy watching his content. So I'm glad you're appreciating it, Tim. I really do. It does mean a lot to hear that from another successful YouTuber for sure. So But yeah, he does all sorts of stuff. He's done like skull Damascus and jelly roll and like all these crazy Damascus things that I haven't even got into yet. I know there's been several people wanting me to do Damascus, and I'm just like, there's a lot of other people. Oh, thanks, Buddy Bell. There's a lot of other really talented smiths that do Damascus, and I'd just be starting in at the basic end of it, so that's all I would be able to really teach. I have done a lot with Mokume, but that's a bit of a different breed. It doesn't require the same temperatures, obviously, and patterning is a little bit different, the way you achieve that. So, but yeah, definitely go check out Big Dog Forge over at his channel. He's got like a lot of great information, especially if you're into Damascus. He's got a lot of videos over there. I don't know how many you got over there, Tim, but I know there's a bunch. I've watched a bunch. Lots of hours. Yeah, you've been a blacksmith for 15 years. Yep. So, welder recommendations. Right now I'm using a Hobart. It's a Hobart Handler 190. And it does most all my welding. It's a little underpowered if you're going to go a long while with it. So, you know, the duty cycle's pretty low. It's a MIG welder. So it's just kind of like, I hear a lot of guys give that garbage about being a MIG welder. The real professional welders out there, you know, I don't know. I've got a stick welder too that doesn't have a name brand. I bought it for $100, and I mean I'm pretty sure it's older than everyone here combined. So it's a really old stick welder, but it goes all the way up to like 380 amps, I believe it was. It goes all the way up to like 380 amps. It's insane. It's insane. So. It can take an 1/8 inch rod and shove it clean through a 2-inch bar. Just like blow right through. It's crazy. Horse, that's great. Yeah, Tim, better not disappoint, bud. I'm sending people your way. Got to be on the ball. Got to get healed. Be praying for you. Well, you don't get any of them haters out there. Yeah, you know, I've never done a whole lot of Damascus. I've been smithing now 9 years. I've been smithing 9 years, and I haven't really done any Damascus work. I've done a little bit here and there, but like I said, not enough to like actually call myself good at it, for sure. I like to instruct on things that I think I'm knowledgeable at, or I'm close to being knowledgeable at. I like to do those. You used a cutting torch for the first time. It felt like it was using a lightsaber. Yeah. Yeah. Especially when you get the hang of it. I'm still trying to get the hang of a cutting torch myself. It's a little bit dicey. Just getting the feed and the right height and stuff. Doing that's a little bit tricky. I do have a plasma cutter in the shop that I use a lot, probably more than I should, but that takes a trick too. As a old guy told me once, it'll cut everywhere you wiggle. Everywhere you wiggle. So, it can't be more right than that. A plasma cutter cuts literally everywhere you wiggle. Yeah. So any more questions out there? Thanks, Smile Cahoon. Oh, yeah, I like smiling. It's a personality I like to do. Hey, God bless you and good night too. Oh. Yeah, it's kind of interesting when I teach. I'm a bit of a, well, I don't like to. Let's hear. Ramzilla, you have a great night too. Moon Outdoors, it was good seeing you, buddy. You have a good night too. Yeah, when I blacksmith, I'm very serious, and mainly because I believe there's so many dangers that are in my shop just waiting to end my blacksmithing career, and and just not in a good way. And so I take my smithing very seriously. You don't see me joke around a whole lot in the shop. You don't see me just kind of dance and play, and you just won't see that on my channel. Because I believe in teaching people to be as safe and observant as they can as possible. And I've had people get on to me about gloves on the drill press. I take that hit. I get complacent from time to time, and I haven't been wearing them recently at the drill press, so be proud of me. But yeah, I take safety as an utmost important thing, because ultimately I'm out here in my shop all day, and if something were to happen to me, if I were to get caught up in a piece of equipment or things like that, I'd be dead before anybody found me, because I'm always hammering on something. In fact, it would be the lack of hammering or the things going quiet in my shop that would probably tip people off to something had happened to Roy. And so with that being said, I like to be as safe as I can. And so, you know, I like this live stream chatting, when I just chat with people and talk about things. I really am, you know, I like being a friendly guy. I love laughing and joking and telling stories. So, Big Dog Forge, to answer your question, yeah, my actual goal, I'm not quite there yet on my smithing ability, but I hope to be. I have a few life works that I want to make, and those are large-scale biblical representations of scenes in the Bible, and I'm talking very like life-size, like whole things that will be mounted on semi-trailers. And so that's where I want to go. So I guess that would say more sculptural work. I do know that there's got to be an income to you know, support that, obviously. And so my skills have slowly been building a little bit at a time. And, you know, I'm getting now to where I'm outgrowing this shop, so I'm looking to buy a bigger shop somewhere else someday, hopefully. And yeah, that's kind of my thing. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to break away. I'm trying to get into home decor for right now, and then maybe get into, I don't really want to do railings. I mean, if something came through and it, you know, it was going to pay good enough on the bills, I guess I would. Gates interest me. But mainly furniture, like furniture. For some reason, that really interests me. So, I don't know. I'm going to kind of put myself in the hands of the Lord and see where He takes me on that. We've took some real big steps, and over the last probably 3 years, we've really thrown ourselves to the wind quite a bit and let the Lord catch us. So, it looks like we're going to end up doing that again at some point. But that seems to be how we move and we progress. When we get stagnated at some place, we have to take that jump and that leap of faith. And so I try to encourage everybody else I can to do that as well. So, sorry that was long-winded, but yeah, I have an ultimate goal with my ironwork that I want to do. I want to do stuff that has meaning and has impact. That'll hopefully be here, you know, long after I'm dead and still affecting people in some sort of emotional connection. That would be great. And there was a comment on my anvil. What I paid for it. I don't mind sharing that at all. I paid $2,700 for my anvil. Olga, she's 465 pounds. I drove all the way down to Georgia to get it. So after the hotel stay and the gas and the logistics of everything, I've got right around $3,200 into Olga there. So, and that was sourced off of eBay. Yeah, she is a good one. My wife is a great one. You're welcome, Boiler Room Radio. So, anything you want to know, you just ask me, and I'll be happy to share if I can. So, yeah, my wife, she just treats me so well. It's just so great to have her in my life. She's done a lot for me. And maybe I'll get into that someday with everybody and you know, share a little bit more about my back personal story. You know, if there's any interest in that sort of thing on YouTube. But yeah, you know, she's done a lot for me. She takes care of so much, and you know, I don't know where I'd be without her. I tell her all the time that I probably wouldn't be a blacksmith without her, and you know, and that's probably 100% true. Because I just wouldn't have took the initiative myself, probably. to get started, so. Does she have a single sister? LOL. Yeah, well, jokingly, yes. If you want to go all the way to China, she does have a single sister. So, oh, she would hate me right now to take and do that. So, oh man, that'd be so great. I'm gonna tease my sister-in-law now. I'm gonna tell her I give her a shout out on a live stream. Tell her like a whole 30 people and however much traction the live stream gets after this. You know, I'm gonna just tell her like, oh yeah, you know, I just told like 7,000 subscribers that, you know, I gave them your number. That would be great. That would be great. I'm gonna do that. That's going to happen. I'll let you all know next Friday's live stream how that turned out. How about that? I'll do that for sure. Vernon James, I started out with a 55-pound Harbor Freight. That's the first anvil I started out with. So, glad to see you here. You're Mr. Nimes, you're studying blacksmithing? Okay. Hey, we'll see you later, big dog. It was good to hear from you, buddy. Keep up the great work on your channel, for sure. Oh, let's see here. Advice for studying blacksmithing. I would pay as close attention to the basics. 100%. Basics, 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 all the way. Do not go away from the basics. Focus on those. Do not learn the project. Try to learn the process. I was told that by Wayne Apgar, and that's really stuck with me and resonated with me. And it's made me very good at learning, picking up new techniques from people. Even guys who haven't been smithing as long, sometimes what they say just makes sense. I mean, they're doing something, and people might think it sounds stupid, but then you're like, oh, well, what? Wait a minute. Well, I guess he invented that out of necessity, and that method actually does kind of work. And, oh, it actually works pretty efficiently. So, you know, I've learned a lot from all sorts of people out there. But I would focus highly on the basics. Do what you can with what you got. Yep, you're exactly right. Do what you can with what you got. Sorry, I didn't get to read the part about 300-pound anvil. I'll read that in a second. What's the difference between that and a proper 300-pound anvil? So mainly, anvils are attributed, people attribute like anvil rebound a lot. They put a lot of emphasis in that. Essentially, you need something with enough mass that it's not going to kick around. Now, you can get a, you're welcome, Mr. Nemus. You can get a small lightweight anvil, like a 100-pound anvil, and do quite a bit of smithing on it, and do stuff up to 1-inch material just fine on a 100-pound anvil. You have a smaller surface area that you can hit on. That's one downside to a smaller anvil, but you have to make sure that it's really, really, really bolted down solid, and it can't have any move or flex. You don't want it to be moving while you're trying to put kinetic energy into the piece. So the reason why I like really large anvils is because they have a tendency to not move under standard hand hammering. They will jitter a bit, you know, like Olga there, she'll move around like a millimeter or something if we're working with a sledgehammer on top of it or something like that, but she won't move around a whole lot. Now, I have a thing for big anvils, so I'm biased on that, but I have used small anvils, and the biggest mistake you can make with a small anvil is not mount it properly. What do I do for first aid for burning myself? I recommend getting yourself and putting it in your shop and growing it an aloe vera plant. Snap it right off, put it straight on the burn. It goes away in like a day and a half. It's great. So. Yeah, some people wrap a heavy chain around them. I think some of that comes to, it might be add a little bit of mass or a little more weight to hold them down. I think a lot of that is just to kind of deaden ring. The anvil base, I did a whole anvil base build, and I also got links to where you can get the PDF files for that. But I work on a solid steel anvil that's fabricated and it's got sand in the legs, and that kills all the ring for me. You're welcome, Vernon James, for the advice. Horse, yeah, I'm making you jealous with my huge anvils there. I make myself jealous sometimes, so I feel real blessed to have it. It was a big decision to try to buy a fully professional anvil, but like I said, I want to get into architectural work. And yeah, so I need a little larger anvil that I can lay pieces on. And the things like an ironing board, I mean, I use it as like a workbench practically. I mean, it's beautiful. It's great. If you guys can afford it, get a large anvil if that fits in your shop and it fits in your price point. I don't think you'll be sad that you did. I mean, unless you're a traveling person, then you don't want to have, like, it's an insane amount of weight to move, even with an engine hoist. I mean, 465 pounds is a lot of weight. Peppermint oil is good to prevent scars. Okay, thanks for the tip on that. I haven't used peppermint oil for that before. Yeah, 241 pounder is great. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. So, yeah, Corey's right. If you go to Quad State, there's just tons of there. Yeah, people are always asking stupid prices for good anvils. You're just going to find that. And you better be on it if you find a deal. Yeah, hey, 45-pound anvil can do it too. Like I said, I mean, if you have that thing mounted and if it suits the work you do, you know, you don't have to have a god-awful huge anvil. Like I said, my anvil's just kind of like what I like to work with. But to each their own on anvils. I know some people don't even like the German patterns, and those are insane. You think like Trenton's or Peter Wright's or something like that's insane. Try to buy a good German anvil that's like double horn and stuff in the United States. You're going to pay a premium, like I had to. It's what I wanted. So I had a 300-pound English pattern anvil, I think it was. It did not have a maker's on it. I always called it a mouse hole because that's what people said. Buddy Bell, night. Oh. Sorry about my French earlier. No problem. Yeah, anvils are expensive. Yeah, the 300-pound anvil that I worked on it all the time. I had a 175-pound anvil, and I also had like a 100-pound Trenton anvil, and you know, I just worked on the 300 all the time. I just decided I liked the larger anvils surfaces. I do like making hardy tools a lot to accomplish things when I need like smaller shoulders and cross sections to get in between two stuff. I'm glad you're just enjoying and loving the chat. I'm enjoying it too, so. Yeah, I do like to talk. Buddy, you ever get me in person, you know, I can talk your ear off. I have a friend of mine, he says I could talk a dog off of a T-bone steak. I'm pretty sure he's right. I'd make the dog feel bad about it. That's how bad I am about talking. I've got the gift to gab. But so can you. All right, good. It's good to see a couple other chatty Cathys out there. Oh, I'm not the only one. You know, I get chastised a lot about that in the Charles Maid. I'm glad you. Good to see you here, and I'm glad you liked the video on the mild steel tooling. I'll change subject to that. That was a good one. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed that question about tooling. Once again, you know, we get wrapped up in that blacksmithing has to be done a very certain way. It has to be a certain way, and then you know, you got to think about it. I mean, in the 1800s, did they really have 01 tool steel? I mean, 1500 years ago, did they have like a good quality steel. I mean, no, they had wrought iron, and they had dicey wrought iron at the best. You know, I mean, that was the best iron they had. And occasionally they would find a nugget of good quality steel out there. And I'm not a historian or anything, but, you know, that's, you know, so mild steel can work for tooling. It just won't hold up as well as regular stuff. Questions for you all. That's a good one. Yep. Yep, learning comes at the expense of listening. That's the problem. To a guy talk a whole lot. So I'm glad you enjoyed it, though. Questions for you guys. Lightning Bug, good to see you. That is a good question. Oh, how you like my hair? It's nice. Okay, before tool steel, they used a saltwater quench. Okay. Like a brine. Probably did case hardening and stuff, too. It's okay, lol. Yeah, I know. It's a bit, I mean, it's after a day, so. You know. Hey, at least it's not as wild as Alex Steele's. I love the kid. The guy needs to put a comb through that booger. Oh. I think it's part of his persona now on YouTube. I don't think he can change it. I don't think that guy can ever change it now. If he came in with, like, shaved head or something, he'd lose, like, 98% of his subscribers probably right off the bat. You know, me, nobody cares about me. I can shave it, I can mohawk it, you know. You guys would be alright. So here, what would you recommend to overcome the fact that my anvil has no remaining sharp corners? Clean set downs don't happen. If your anvil does not have the edges that you need, you just need to make yourself a little block to go in your hardy hole, or make you a little block that goes in the vise somewhere. That would be my suggestion for that. And then you can grind whatever shape edge that you want, especially if you don't want to undertake the task of redressing your anvil. And I did a video on redressing the anvil, you know, on my buddy's anvil. And, you know, if anybody wants to watch that one, it's on the channel. You can look it up. It was a fairly popular video, fairly controversial, too, about redressing anvils. But, you know, I like really clean, sharp edges. You know, I don't like sharp as in, like, they're going to cut you. You know, it shouldn't be cut you sharp. But, you know, like no more than an 1/8 or 1/16 radius. Because in a lot of my work, it is very hard if you have a rolled edge, like a rounded edge, to get a good set down on things, like you said, for tongs and stuff. That is very difficult. That is very difficult to do and accomplish. So I'm going to go over that when I do a demonstration on making tongs. I'm going to go over some tips on that, and I might just go ahead and forge a block, even though I don't need one, and maybe give it away at the end of that video to somebody. And yeah, I'll do something like that and then do a pair of tongs on it. I like making tools to make other tools, to make other tools, to make projects, to make money. I like that. I think that's just I think that's indicative of blacksmithing in general. Yeah, he is 19. I mean, we're all 19 at some point, you know. Oh, yeah, you know, I won't ever knock him because of his age. I mean, I think what he's doing on YouTube is pretty amazing. I mean, he's not out there doing drugs. He's not knocking girls up. You know, he's doing something that he loves, and he's building a financial future in it. And I mean, who couldn't be more proud of him? I mean, his parents have got to be insanely proud of their son. You know, some things ding him, you know, about, well, not going to school for it, or not going to college, or not completing his high school education. That might hang him up later in life a little bit. You know, not having the high school education, but, you know, hey, I don't know. I don't know in England how much that plays into, or UK or British, or I'm not real sure how all that works out over there. But I know in the United States, like, I mean, hell, even people who work at McDonald's have to have a degree practically now. So here, from a claw hammer. In the middle of forging a hammer eye punch from a claw hammer. I mean, it could be a good ideal if you can get the things done. I think it's a little extra work. I would go with a ball peen hammer, like an old, well, not an old ball peen, but one that you don't care about. Get a ball peen and forge it out of that instead. I think it'd be a little easier, but that's just me. Try as a Hoffy hammer. It's balanced and made forged metal more easily. Yeah, I've seen the Hoffy style hammer. I have tried the Hoffy hammer, and I haven't been a fan. I'm not real big into short handles. I like really long handles. I did a whole video on that. I like real long handles and real lightweight hammers. So that's kind of my preference, if you will. But I have tried them before, and they do. I mean, they work for certain. Once again, they work for the Hoffy style of hammering. So, you know, if that suits you, then that's great. Okay, well, guys, it is officially 10 p.m. Ohio time. This live stream's been on for 2 hours. I greatly appreciate everybody coming out. So I need to get ready for bed, get a shower. I start the day again tomorrow at a lovely 5 a.m. So I need to hit the hay, but you know, I really love this live stream, you guys. And good night to you, Joshua. Good night to everybody. It's 5 a.m. here. Good night. Man, I wouldn't be up that early unless you're going to work. So hopefully you didn't stay up all night. Hey, good night to you, Boiler Room. Yeah, I'll rest well for sure. So, and I hope you guys will enjoy the video that's coming out tomorrow. I forget what it is, but right off the top of my head. But I've shot some real cool ones this week. So, God bless you all. You know, and I hope you guys keep doing everything real good out there. You know, like you know, just keep smithing, having fun at it. You know, I can't wait to catch up with you all next Friday and answer more questions there. So God bless you all, and have a good night. We'll see you later.